In the first 8 seconds, here's the promise. We'll show how medieval families actually achieved clean, cool, dark sleep. Not myths, workable routines. By the end, you'll understand why many nights were more controlled than we assume, and which parts still hold up today. First, let's set the stage. What was a typical bed, and why didn't a big fire solve sleep? They didn't wrestle with late-night scrolling or blinking. Lights, a few quiet breaths, a cool dark room, and they drifted off in what felt like moments. To them, falling asleep was as natural as a stone sinking into a pond. You keep tossing while they dream. Why did they fall asleep so quickly? It wasn't magic or stronger bodies. It was their world. When the sun set, darkness wrapped every house like a heavy blanket. No neon signs. No buzzing phone on the nightstand. Even the moonlight rarely slipped past thick shutters. Your eyes would have known the signal. Night means rest. Their evenings followed a gentle rhythm. Work slowed when daylight faded. Chores ended before the last glow left the sky. Families gathered for stories, prayers, or quiet talk. That pattern soothed the brain, the way a lullaby soothes a child. The day emptied of noise and urgency long before anyone touched a bed. Think about your own nights. Bright LEDs burn overhead. Messages arrive at midnight. The line between day and night blurs until your inner clock loses track. Your ancestors never faced that confusion. Their darkness wasn't only outside, it settled inside them too. Heart rate eased, thoughts softened. Sleep came on like the tide, steady and sure. Picture a medieval cottage as a living organism. The fire breathes slow, glowing coals. The air cools with each hour. You are a heartbeat in that quiet body, following its rhythm. Compare that to your bedroom lit by tiny suns, screens, alarms, hallway bulbs. No wonder your mind thinks it's still noon. Here's the surprising part. Modern science now proves what they felt. Deep darkness sparks a flood of melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain it's time to sleep. Our ancestors didn't know the chemical's name, but their habits triggered it perfectly. You fight for sleep because your evening light tricks your brain into thinking dawn has already come. Their quick descent into dreams wasn't luck. It was designed by routine and environment. When the sun vanished, life slowed. When chores ended, minds rested. When the last candle dimmed, darkness ruled without interruption. They rode nature's schedule instead of fighting it. So while you toss and count minutes, picture a grandmother 1,000 years ago. She closes her eyes, wrapped in linen and silence. In less than 7 minutes, she's gone to that quiet place you're still chasing. Her secret isn't lost. It waits in the simple truth that darkness and rhythm cradle the human body. This is where your journey starts. Understanding how a world without artificial light turned sleep into a certainty instead of a struggle. You already know darkness helped your ancestors fall asleep fast. But that was only the beginning. They relied on 7 habits that worked together like gears in a quiet clock, each one guiding the body toward deep rest. First came timing. Sunset meant an automatic slowdown. When the last light faded, daily work stopped. No late errands, no glowing screens. Your own evenings stretched long and restless because you ignored this simple signal. Second was evening movement. People walked after supper, tending animals or drawing water. The gentle motion cooled their bodies and calmed their minds. Think of it like a slow river that carries the day's tension away before bed. Third, layered warmth kept them comfortable without stifling heat. Wool, linen, and straw formed a nest that adjusted to cold nights. Instead of chasing the perfect thermostat setting, they trusted natural insulation to cradle them. Fourth, soothing soundscapes played a role you might not expect. Night insects, distant bells, and the hush of wind formed a steady backdrop. These natural sounds worked like today's white noise machines, steady, soft, and reassuring. Fifth, shared presence eased fears and loneliness. Many slept side by side with family or travelers. Sixth, Herbal companions filled their rooms with subtle scents, lavender bundles under pillows, chamomile tea before bed, and other gentle plants signaled relaxation. Your brain still responds to these cues, even if you call them aromatherapy. Finally, they practiced mental release. Prayers, whispered stories, or quiet reflection emptied minds of daily worries. They let go of tomorrow before it arrived. You can almost hear the night absorbing their thoughts like a dry field soaking rain. Each habit worked with the others. Darkness set the stage. Movement burned restless energy. Layers trapped warmth while quiet sounds soothed nerves. Companionship, herbs, and mental release finished the ritual. Together they formed a routine so natural that sleep followed like a faithful shadow. You might wonder, which of these mattered most? That's the trick. None of them stood alone. Miss one gear, and the clock slowed. Combine all seven and the human body responded with deep, unbroken rest. Notice how different this is from our frantic nights. We fight the clock, chase comfort with gadgets, and fill our bedrooms with noise and light. Your ancestors didn't need advice columns or sleep coaches. They followed simple patterns that matched the rhythm of the world around them. These 7 techniques weren't secrets. They were everyday life. And they worked so well that modern research keeps rediscovering them, one study at a time. As you listen to the next chapter, you'll see how the first and most powerful habit, complete darkness, was the cornerstone that made all the others even and more effective. Imagine a night so dark you can't see your own hand. That was every evening for your ancestors. When the sun set, true blackness slid over the land like a heavy curtain. You might think your bedroom is dark, but a tiny LED glows brighter than an entire medieval cottage at midnight. You step inside their world and feel it immediately. No streetlights, no passing headlights, no digital clocks. Heavy shutters closed over windows, and thick curtains stopped even a slice of moonlight. Darkness wrapped the room like velvet, soft yet absolute. Why does this matter? Your brain reads darkness as a command. It releases melatonin, the hormone that whispers, "Sleep now." In deep dark, the pineal gland works like a midnight factory, pumping melatonin until sunrise. Think of it as a natural dimmer switch for your body, lowering every system toward rest. Modern science proves what they sensed. Studies show that even a faint glow, like a hallway nightlight, can cut melatonin production. Your ancestors never faced that obstacle. Their evenings were a masterclass in natural light control without even trying. The cottage itself helped. Thick stone walls and small windows kept out random flickers of starlight or neighbors' candles. A single hearth ember glowed faintly, but it stayed low and red, more like the last blush of sunset than a real flame. Your pupils widened, soaking in every shade of black until the room became a quiet ocean of shadow. This deep darkness did more than trigger hormones. It settled the mind. With nothing to look at, thoughts slowed. Eyes rested. The night became a soft silence where worry had nowhere to hide. It's like walking into a cave where time forgets to tick. You might ask, didn't they stumble in the dark? They planned around it. Tasks ended before nightfall. Water jugs and shoes stayed in the same place. A candle might be lit briefly, but it gave off only a whisper of warm light and was quickly snuffed. The steady black carried through the night. No sudden flashes from a neighbor's car or a blinking router light. Your body stayed in the same state from dusk to dawn, letting every sleep phase unfold naturally. Today we chase gadgets to block light, eye masks, blackout curtains, trying to rebuild what they had by default. Their ordinary darkness remains our luxury. This chapter closes with a question for you. When was the last time you experienced a night without a single glimmer of modern light? The answer may explain why your ancestors slipped into dreams while you still count sheep. Their perfect darkness set the stage for every other sleep habit you'll hear about next. Without it, the rest of their nightly routine would never have worked so well. Picture a medieval hospital at night. It isn't bright and bustling like a modern ward. Instead, Darkness fills the halls like calm water in a deep well. You would hear soft footsteps, the creak of wood, and the slow breathing of patients resting in shadow. Why so dark? Caregivers noticed something striking long before science caught up. Patients healed faster when rooms stayed almost completely black. No torches flaring, no candles burning all night. Just the faint glow of cooling embers and the quiet hush of curtains drawn tight. Imagine the contrast to a modern hospital with monitors blinking and machines beeping. Medieval attendants believed darkness itself was part of the cure. They didn't know the word melatonin, but they saw wounds closing and fevers easing when the night remained undisturbed. Think of darkness as a gentle medicine, like a blanket that calms the body from the inside. The stillness lowered heart rates and slowed restless thoughts. Patients drifted into sleep as if the night were a giant hand rocking them toward recovery. Monks and nuns who ran many of these hospitals kept careful routines. Before sunset, they prepared each chamber. Shutters latched, curtains layered, fires banked low. Once the last prayer ended, light vanished. You would step into a hallway so dark that only the soft smell of herbs hinted at nearby rooms. You might wonder how nurses worked without light. They planned tasks early. Water was placed within easy reach, and pathways were memorized. If someone needed urgent help, a single small lamp guided the way, its dim flame like a firefly in a cavern. Modern researchers now confirm what those caregivers sensed. Deep, uninterrupted darkness supports immune function and speeds tissue repair. Your ancestors witnessed the results centuries before laboratories measured hormone levels. This wasn't magic or superstition. It was careful observation. Medieval healers treated darkness as an ally, not a hazard. They understood that a quiet, shadowed room allowed the body's own systems to do their work. Ask yourself, when was the last time you slept in true blackness, free of glowing screens and hallway lights? That rare experience might heal more to you than you expect. These hospital practices influenced homes as well. Families copied the approach, creating bedrooms that mimicked the healing wards. Darkness became a nightly prescription everyone could follow. The lesson travels forward in time. Long before scientific studies, people trusted the simple power of night. The next chapter explores how aging bodies responded to this natural medicine and why melatonin levels stayed strong for so many years. You've heard that melatonin drops as people get older. By 60, the average person makes about half as much of this sleep hormone as they did at 20. That decline often means lighter sleep, more wake-ups, and early morning staring contests with the ceiling. But your medieval ancestors faced that same biological curve and still slept soundly. How? Their world worked like a gentle partner to aging bodies. When the sun sank, darkness wrapped every home for nearly half the day. No night lights, no glowing chargers. The pitch-black hours stretched long enough to push melatonin production higher and longer, even for elderly. Think of melatonin like a slow river. In modern bedrooms full of blinking lights, that river dries to a trickle before dawn. In a medieval cottage, it flowed steady and deep all night, carrying the brain toward rest again and again. Even the rhythm of their evenings helped older people keep that flow. Supper came early, usually before sunset. Afterward, the pace slowed to quiet tasks, mending, prayers, soft talk. By the time darkness settled, every mind and muscle had already eased toward sleep. Their bodies heard a clear signal. Night has truly arrived. Here's something striking. Older villagers often shared beds with family members or close neighbors during cold season. That shared warmth reduced nighttime shivering, a common reason modern seniors wake too soon. The comfort of steady breathing nearby acted like a natural reassurance that danger was distant. Close your eyes and imagine a night without a single mechanical hum. No traffic outside, no buzzing fridge, not even the faint click of a thermostat. That's the soundscape your ancestors knew every evening. Medieval homes treated silence like treasure. Heavy wooden shutters pressed tight against stone walls. Thick fabric hangings draped over doors and windows. Each layer muffled the world until outside noises faded to a dull whisper. It felt like living inside a padded drum where only your own heartbeat remained. Why was silence so important? Your body responds to sound even while you sleep. Sudden noise spikes jolt the nervous system, raise heart rate, and pull you from deep rest. Your ancestors didn't have ambulance sirens or car alarms to ruin the night. Their homes, built of timber and stone, became natural sound shields. Think of a castle gate as an ear for the house. When the gate closed, the entire structure sealed itself against chaos. Shutters and heavy curtains worked the same way, blocking the random echoes of the outside world. The stillness told the brain it was safe to drift. Families understood this without reading a single study. Before sunset, they latched every window and door. Gaps were stuffed with cloth or moss to keep both drafts and noise away. Dogs were brought indoors, not only for warmth, but to prevent barking through the night. Inside, the quiet deepened. Fire embers whispered instead of crackled. Voices dropped to soft tones. Children learned to move lightly, like cats in wool socks. Each small habit stacked up to create a cocoon of calm. Have you ever noticed how a sudden sound yanks you awake even when you're exhausted? Medieval people designed their nights to avoid that shock. Silence became part of the nightly ritual, as essential as darkness. Modern science now confirms the wisdom. Constant low-level noise raises stress hormones and shortens deep sleep cycles. Your ancestors avoided that damage simply by the way they built and prepared their homes. Picture yourself lying on a straw mattress, shutters sealed, heavy curtains swaying slightly in a winter draft. Outside, the world might hold storms or wandering animals, but you hear only the soft hush of your own breath. It's like being inside a giant seashell, wrapped in layers of quiet. This commitment to silence didn't stop at wealthy households. Even small village cottages used similar tricks. Wattle and daub walls, thick rush mats, and wooden doors all worked together to keep the night serene. That deep stillness helped their minds settle and their sleep stretch unbroken until dawn. With noise sealed out, the next practice, keeping darkness constant from sunset to sunrise, could do its work even better. You've heard how medieval people built silence and darkness into every night. Now imagine trying to copy that world in your own century, not as a step-by-step how-to, but to picture how the same principles could exist today. First, think about your bedroom as a small fortress. Walls, windows, and doors become shields against stray light and sound. Medieval families treated their homes that way by instinct. You can picture their shutters like giant eyelids closing to protect sleep. Their habits prove a simple truth. The environment shapes the mind. When everything around you signals night, your brain follows. That's why researchers studying sleep often recreate conditions that look surprisingly medieval. Long stretches of darkness, steady cool air, and almost total silence. Why dwell on this? Because understanding their method shows how powerful cues can be. Even without electricity, people achieve what modern technology struggles to deliver: consistent, restorative rest. Your ancestors didn't hack sleep, they lived inside it. Imagine your room stripped of every little glow. No blinking routers, no standby lights. Only the dim amber of a candle or the faint red of cooling coals. That single change alone explains much of their success. Their nights were messages to the brain. Sleep is safe now. Sound played the same role. Instead of traffic or late-night music, they heard the hush of wind or a distant owl leap. Those natural sounds acted like a slow drumbeat, guiding the heart toward calm. You might wonder whether copying these conditions would really matter. Scientists already tested it. When volunteers lived for weeks without artificial light, their bodies shifted into the same segmented sleep patterns described in old records. The past wasn't primitive. It was aligned with biology. Remember, this isn't about buying gadgets or following a manual. It's about noticing how powerful those ancient cues were. They created a world where darkness and quiet arrived every evening without fail. That world carried people of all ages through deep, healing sleep. Picture a castle chamber with its thick stone walls and wooden doors. Now imagine a modern bedroom treated with equal respect for night. Both serve the same purpose, to tell the mind that the day is truly over. Understanding that connection prepares you for what comes next. The power of darkness that stayed constant from sunset to sunrise. Medieval sleepers didn't just begin the night in blackness. They remained in it until the first light of dawn, a rhythm modern science still struggles to match. You already know medieval nights began in deep black. The real magic was how that darkness never broke. From sunset until the first streak of dawn, the room stayed as lightless as a sealed cave. Think about your own nights. A car headlight flashes across the wall. A phone screen blinks. Even a hallway bulb leaking under the door sends a signal to your brain. Wake up. Medieval sleepers faced none of that. Once they closed their shutters, darkness ruled without interruption. Why does steady blackness matter? Your body measures light like a clock. Sudden brightness, no matter how brief, tells your brain to slow melatonin and start morning hormones. One quick flash can break the rhythm that keeps you in deep sleep. Their homes acted like natural observatories turned inside out. Thick walls and layered curtains blocked moonbeams, while the hearth's glow faded to a faint ember. It was as if the night sky itself lived indoors, calm and constant. Picture lying in that quiet chamber. You sense the hours passing only by the coolness of the air, not by changing light. Your heartbeat slows, and dreams unfold without a single spark to interrupt them. It's like floating in a calm ocean where no waves reach the surface. Some families even added extra shields. Textile hangings covered doorways. Bed curtains closed tight to trap warmth and keep darkness perfect. Children learned to respect these nightly rituals, moving carefully so no candle flared awake. Have you ever noticed how a sudden glow can jolt you from sleep? Medieval people never fought that battle. Their environment guaranteed a full night of undisturbed black, which kept their internal clock synchronized with the natural world. Modern studies now echo their experience. Researchers find that continuous darkness supports the deepest stages of sleep and helps memory formation. Your ancestors didn't need charts to know they woke clearer and calmer when the night stayed unbroken. The consistency did more than refresh the body. It gave each household a shared rhythm. Everyone, from the youngest child to the oldest grandparent, rose and slept in harmony with the slow, reliable spin of the earth. Imagine a winter night when the sun sets early. 12 hours of velvet black stretch ahead. For your ancestors, that was not a challenge but a promise. Enough time for both first and second sleep, for dreams and midnight conversations. This steady darkness linked every other habit, silence, routine, and segmented rest into one seamless system. Without it, the next great feature of their nights, the two-phase sleep pattern, might never have taken root. Prepare to explore how that natural schedule unfolded as we step into the world of segmented sleep and its surprising benefits. Now that you know how medieval nights stay perfectly dark and quiet, it's time to see what people actually did with all those hours. They didn't sleep straight through. Instead, they followed a natural rhythm that might surprise you. Imagine the night as a book with 2 chapters. The first sleep started soon after sunset. People drifted off for about 4 hours. Then came a gentle awakening around midnight. No panic, no groggy confusion, just a calm pause. Why did this pattern form? Without artificial light, bodies responded to long winter nights by dividing rest into 2 segments. Historians call it biphasic sleep. Modern experiments show that when people live without electric light, their internal clocks quickly fall into the same pattern. During that pause, homes came alive in quiet ways. Some prayed or whispered stories. Others checked on animals, tended banked fires, or simply sat in thoughtful silence. Couples sometimes shared intimacy. Children stirred, then nestled back under heavy blankets. Picture the house as a breathing creature. It inhaled during first sleep, exhaled during the wakeful watch, then inhaled again for second sleep. The rhythm felt as natural as tides pulling at a shore. You might wonder whether people worried about being awake at midnight. They didn't. Waking in the middle of the night was expected, almost comforting. Nobody counted lost hours or feared exhaustion the next day. They trusted the second sleep would arrive. This habit shaped social life, too. Neighbors might visit quietly during the watch, or families might share soft conversation. Small tasks, mending, stirring embers, even quiet reading by dim candlelight, fit this interval perfectly. Modern science now validates the practice. Researchers find that segmented sleep can support vivid dreaming, memory consolidation, and balanced hormone cycles. Your ancestors discovered it through daily life, not laboratory charts. Think of it like a long meal with two courses. First sleep was the hearty entree, the wakeful watch, a palate cleanser. And second sleep, the sweet finish that left the body satisfied. This rhythm lasted centuries. It crossed villages, towns, and even class lines. From peasants to nobles, people accepted two-part nights as the human norm. As you picture that midnight moment, feel the quiet confidence of a culture in tune with nature's clock. No glowing alarms, no frantic glances at a phone. Just a gentle wakefulness that carried them from dusk to dawn. This natural split sets up the next chapter, where we step deeper into the details of that crucial first sleep and how it prepared everybody for that calm interlude that followed. You've entered the medieval night. The shutters are closed, the hearth glows faintly, and the room breathes in steady silence. Now begins the first sleep, the opening act of a two-part rest. People usually settled soon after dusk. The day's work ended with the fading light, and supper was eaten early. With no bright lamps to stretch the evening, families simply followed the sun. You would have lain down not long after the last orange streak disappeared from the sky. The first sleep lasted about 4 hours. It began as the body cooled and darkness deepened. Heart rate slowed, muscles softened, and the mind slid into deep restorative phases. Modern researchers would later call these slow-wave cycles. Medieval sleepers didn't know the terms, but they felt the heavy pull of genuine rest. Imagine this first segment as a deep ocean. Dreams floated far below, unbroken by sudden light or noise. The thick curtains and stone walls kept outside sounds faint, so your breathing matched the quiet rhythm of the house. Each inhale and exhale reinforced the message: night is safe. You might wonder, what if someone stirred? Occasional shifts happened, but the household remained calm. Children nestled closer, adults adjusted blankets, and the room returned to stillness. There was no alarm clock ticking toward morning, only the slow drift of natural time. First sleep also served as the body's repair shop. Wounds knit, muscles rebuilt, and immune defenses strengthened. Farmers who spent the day in hard labor relied on these hours to recover for the next sunrise. Think of it as a workshop hidden beneath consciousness, where cells worked like silent carpenters. Social customs respected this period. Visitors rarely called after dusk. Villagers knew that disturbing a neighbor's first sleep was as rude as stealing food. Bells might ring only for true emergencies such as fire or attack. The surrounding darkness helped the mind detach from daily concerns. With no glowing reminders of unfinished tasks, thoughts faded. The brain focused on the essential work of restoration instead of tomorrow's chores. As midnight approached, the first sleep reached its natural conclusion. Bodies stirred gently, as if an internal clock whispered that it was time to surface. People awoke without panic, ready for the quiet watch between the two halves of night. This first block laid the foundation for everything that followed. Without it, the wakeful interval and the second sleep would not have felt balanced. The deep calm of those opening hours made the next phase, midnight wakefulness, refreshing instead of exhausting. So picture yourself rising slowly from that dark ocean of rest, aware but unhurried. In the next chapter, you'll step into the peaceful interlude when medieval households move softly through the heart of night. You stir awake in the middle of the night. There's no alarm, no sudden noise. Your eyes open naturally, as if an inner tide has reached the shore. This is the quiet watch, the space between first and second sleep. Instead of panic, you feel calm curiosity. In a medieval home, this wakeful hour belonged to everyone. Families expected it, so nobody worried about the time. The house stays hushed except for faint embers cracking like distant insects. What happens during this pause? People might whisper a prayer, share a gentle story, or simply sit in silence. Some tend the fire, adding a log with slow, practiced motions. Others step outside to check animals or breathe the cold night air. It's a soft intermission, not a break in rest. Picture the room as a dim lantern. The small glow of a single candle paints long shadows on the walls. You move quietly, senses sharpened by darkness. Each sound, footsteps, a kettle's faint creak, feels amplified, yet soothing. This watch served practical needs too. Parents fed infants without rush. Farmers inspected animals. If a storm threatened, repairs could begin before dawn. These tasks happened without the stress we attach to sleeplessness. Have you noticed how modern insomnia brings tension? Back then, being awake at midnight meant nothing was wrong. People trusted that second sleep would follow, as sure as sunrise. Conversations during this time carried a special intimacy. Couples whispered plans for planting or shared private jokes. Neighbors might visit if weather allowed, exchanging quiet words before heading home. The world felt paused, as if the night itself listened. Modern research mirrors these old rhythms. When volunteers live without electric light, they naturally fall into a similar pattern. 4 hours of deep sleep, 1 to 2 hours awake, then a SX. And stretch until morning. Your body carries that memory even today. Think of the wakeful watch like the gentle pivot in a long symphony. The first movement fades, a hush fills the hall, and you ready yourself for the next. This period also sparked creativity. People prayed, meditated, or reflected on dreams from the first sleep. Some wrote down thoughts by faint candlelight, letting ideas surface in the quiet. Eventually, drowsiness returns like a tide, rolling back in. The candle is snuffed, embers glow low, and you slip beneath blankets. No one hurries. Second sleep waits patiently. The calm of this midnight moment set medieval people apart from our restless culture. Instead of fighting wakefulness, they welcomed it. That acceptance becomes the bridge to the final stage of the night. Now you're ready to drift into second sleep, the phase that carried them through the last dark hours before dawn. You ease back under the covers. The embers glow faintly, and the house settles again into perfect stillness. This is second sleep, the gentle landing that carries the night to dawn. Your body knows what to do. The first watch gave you time to stretch, whisper, or simply breathe. Now your mind drifts downward as if a soft tide pulls you into deeper waters. Dreams return quickly, richer and more vivid than before. Why is this second stretch so powerful? Researchers find that the hours before sunrise are packed with REM sleep, the stage linked to memory, learning, and creative problem solving. Medieval people experienced those benefits without ever naming them. Imagine the cottage as a giant cradle. The dark walls rock you in silence while the cold outside sharpens the warmth of your bed. Every heartbeat matches the slow rhythm of the house itself. People often described colorful, story-like dreams during this phase. Farmers dreamed of fields, sailors of endless seas, children of bright festivals. Many woke remembering details with striking clarity. That vividness strengthened memory, helping them recall tasks and stories with ease. You might wonder if second sleep always lasted the same length. Not exactly. Seasons shaped it. In winter, when nights stretched long, second sleep could run 4 or 5 hours. In summer, it shortened as dawn arrived earlier. But the pattern, wakefulness followed by a peaceful return, remained steady. Families respected the quiet. No chores began until the faint gray of morning showed at the window. Roosters crowed, not clocks. The household woke. only when the natural light invited them. This second sleep provided more than physical rest. It gave minds a safe space to process emotions and weave meaning from the day. Think of it as the night's second chapter, where the plot twists of memory and dream unfold before morning's final page. Modern experiments reveal that when people avoid artificial light, their bodies slip into the same two-phase pattern within weeks. Your own system carries that blueprint, waiting beneath layers of electric glare and late-night habits. The return to sleep after the midnight watch also taught patience. No one chased rest or worried about schedules. They trusted that sleep would come again, and it did, gently, inevitably. As dawn approached, sounds of the outside world slowly returned. A rooster's call, the soft creak of wood as it warmed to morning air. You would wake refreshed, as though the night itself had prepared you for the day. Second sleep closed the circle of a natural rhythm that modern life has nearly erased. It linked darkness, silence, and acceptance into a complete system of rest. Next, you'll hear how modern science has rediscovered this forgotten pattern and confirmed what medieval people knew from simple experience. You followed the rhythm of first and second sleep. Now see how modern research caught up with this ancient pattern. For centuries, people assumed continuous 8-hour sleep was the only healthy way. Scientists finally tested that belief, and the results echoed the medieval night. In the 1990s, researchers at the National Institute of Mental Health placed volunteers in total darkness for 14 hours each night. No phones, no screens, no artificial cues. After a few weeks, every participant naturally settled into 2 distinct sleep periods, separated by a calm hour or 2 of wakefulness. The body remembered its old script. Think of it like a song you haven't heard in years. The melody returns the moment you hear the first notes. Your brain still carries the ancient rhythm of segmented sleep and responds when the lights go out for long enough. The study also revealed deeper REM cycles and steadier hormone levels. Melatonin surged soon after darkness and remained high through the night, just as it did for your ancestors. Cortisol, the stress hormone, dropped earlier and stayed low until morning. You might wonder, does this mean modern advice is wrong? Not exactly. Continuous sleep works for many people, but the data show that a natural break at night isn't a disorder. Waking for a while can be perfectly healthy when the environment supports it. Further experiments in Europe and Japan confirmed the finding. When participants lived without artificial light, they fell into a first sleep, enjoyed a peaceful watch, and then entered a second sleep. Their mood and cognitive tests often improved compared to those forced into a single stretch. This science also explains why insomnia rates rise in electric societies. Artificial light delays melatonin release, pushing bedtime later and compressing natural cycles. Your body still wants the older pattern, but struggles against glowing screens and late-night schedules. Picture your own circadian rhythm as an ancient clock hidden inside your brain. Electric light spins its hands forward, but the gears underneath still tick to medieval time. Give that clock darkness, and it resets to its original pace. Modern researchers now use these insights to guide therapy. They encourage patients not to panic when they wake in the night. Instead, they teach acceptance and quiet activities, ideas that mirror the calm wakefulness of medieval households. The evidence keeps growing. 2-part sleep isn't a reliquary. It's a human default. Your ancestors lived it naturally. Scientists rediscovered it by accident. This realization closes the gap between past and present. You don't need to copy every medieval habit to appreciate the lesson. The human body still carries the memory of those long, dark nights. Next, you'll explore what happens inside the mind during that second half of sleep, when dreams turn vivid and memories take on their most colorful form. You sink into the second stretch of night. Here, the mind wakes even as the body rests. This is the realm of vivid dreaming, the bright theater behind closed eyes. During this stage, your brain lights up like a hidden city at dusk. Signals race through memory centers, weaving stories from fragments of your day. Medieval people didn't know the term REM, but they described dreams with striking detail. Glowing gardens, prophetic animals, endless roads under moon and light. Why are these dreams so intense? In the hours just before dawn, REM cycles lengthen. Heart rate rises slightly, breathing quickens, and the brain's electrical activity almost matches waking levels. You travel through scenes that feel real enough to touch. Imagine dreams as night's painters. They blend colors from your thoughts and splash them across a private canvas. Each brushstroke strengthens memory and sorts emotions. What felt tangled yesterday becomes a quiet picture today. Your ancestors valued these visions. They shared dream stories at breakfast, sometimes treating them as guidance or gentle warnings. Farmers recalled crop symbols. Travelers spoke of long journeys foretold in sleep. Dreams became both entertainment and informal wisdom. Modern science supports their observations. Researchers show that REM sleep aids learning and problem solving. When volunteers miss this stage, memory tests and mood scores drop. Your brain uses these hours to file information like a careful librarian. You might wonder if midnight wakefulness affects these vivid dreams. It does. The break between first and second sleep seems to prime the mind for richer REM activity. By returning to slumber, after quiet reflection, medieval people entered the dream phase, ready for deeper storytelling. Some describe the experience as a gentle journey across two worlds. First sleep refreshed the body. Second sleep opened a door to imagination. It's like hiking a dark trail and suddenly finding a hidden meadow filled with glowing flowers. Dream talk also reinforced community ties. Families discussed visions together, turning private stories into shared lore. This practice helped them process fears, hopes, and everyday worries in a supportive circle. Today, we often dismiss dreams as random noise. Yet your ancestors knew they carried meaning, even if they didn't grasp the biology. Their acceptance of dreaming as natural kept their nights rich and their mornings thoughtful. As the final hours of darkness fade, these vivid dreams taper into lighter stages. The mind slows its dance, preparing for dawn. You awaken with images lingering like mist over water, a reminder of the hidden life inside every night. The next chapter explores the habits that help them slip so easily into these rich dreams, rituals and routines that signal the body to rest long. Before the first star appeared, you've traveled through darkness, silence, and vivid dreams. But medieval nights began hours earlier with careful evening rituals that set every mind at ease. Picture the sun sliding below the horizon. Work slows like a river meeting the sea. Families finish supper while daylight fades. The pace of each task tells the body that night has arrived. First came quiet chores. Fires were banked so embers would glow safely until morning. Doors and shutters were checked, animals secured. These simple steps worked like stepping stones, guiding everyone from day to rest. Next came shared moments. Parents told stories, grandparents recited prayers, children listened while their eyes grew heavy. Gentle conversation replaced the noise of markets and fields. You can almost hear the soft murmur like a low flute carrying through the room. The rhythm mattered more than the details. Every night followed the same order. Finish work, close the house, share words, dim the lights. Repetition turned routine to signal. Your brain, like a trained musician, recognized the opening bars of the nightly symphony and prepared for sleep. Why is that important? Modern science shows that predictable habits lower stress hormones and cue the release of melatonin. Medieval people didn't know the chemistry, but they felt the results: calm minds and steady slumber. Even the smallest acts carried weight. Folding a cloak, laying out tomorrow's tools, or sipping a warm herbal drink told the body it was time to slow down. These gestures became anchors in a sea of uncertainty, much like a lighthouse guiding sailors to shore. You might wonder if these rituals ever felt boring. They didn't. Familiar steps gave comfort and a sense of control in a world filled with unpredictable weather and illness. The routine itself became a quiet form of protection. Children learn these patterns from birth. By repeating the same sequence every evening, they developed strong internal clocks. Adults who traveled often returned home craving those familiar signals. The scent of banked fire, the sound of closing shutters, like a favorite melody. Think of the bedtime ritual as a bridge. It carried people from the busy daylight world to the still landscape of dreams, ensuring the journey was smooth and sure. When the final candle flickered out, the mind was already halfway to sleep. No one felt the need to rush or force rest. Night simply arrived, welcomed by calm preparation. These simple evening practices supported everything you've heard so far. Deep first sleep, peaceful midnight watch, and the vivid second sleep that followed. In the next chapter, we'll look at how the gentle glow of candlelight, warmer and dimmer than anything in your home today, reinforced these rituals and protected the natural rhythm of night. You've just finished the evening rituals. Now, picture the only light left in the room, a candle flame the color of late sunset. Its soft glow flickers like a heartbeat, gentle and warm. That tiny flame produced about 12 lumens. Your smartphone screen can blast more than 40 times that amount, and it shines in a harsh blue-white spectrum. To your brain, that blue light screams, morning. The candle whispers, night. Think of the difference as music. A candle is a low, soothing cello note. A phone screen is a blaring trumpet at midnight. One settles you, the other wakes every nerve. Medieval families understood the power of dim, warm light without knowing the science. After sunset, candles or a fading hearth offered the only illumination. The color temperature hovered around 1900 Kelvin, soft orange, like a permanent twilight. Why does that matter? Your eyes contain cells that read light color as a signal. Warm tones tell the pineal gland to release melatonin, your natural sleep hormone. Blue light does the opposite, halting production and delaying rest. Evening tasks reflected that truth. People might read a short prayer or mend a garment by candle, but the faint glow made long work impossible. The limitation became a built-in bedtime cue. As the flame guttered lower, so did conversation and movement. You might wonder if they missed bright light. Not really. The dimness felt natural, like the slow fading of a sunset that never ends. Shadows danced on walls, turning every room into a quiet planetarium. Modern experiments show that even brief exposure to blue light before bed can delay melatonin by hours. Medieval knights avoided that entirely. Their eyes and brains never received a false sunrise at 11 p.m. Picture yourself sitting beside that candle. The room breathes with gentle darkness. Your heartbeat slows. The flame trembles and finally dies, leaving only the soft red of cooling embers. Sleep arrives like a tide over sand. This relationship with light shaped every part of their nightly rhythm. First sleep, midnight wakefulness, second sleep. By keeping evenings warm and dim, they let the body follow nature's clock. Today, we fight the opposite battle. Screens, LEDs, and bright bulbs keep our minds wired long past dusk. We tell ourselves we're tired while bathing our eyes in signals of daylight. Your ancestors didn't need studies or special glasses. Their world simply aligned with the night. The gentle candlelight closed the day with a soft period instead of a flashing exclamation mark. As the next chapter reveals, that careful management of warmth and light also encouraged people to share beds and body heat, adding another layer of comfort and security to their long, restorative nights. You settle beneath heavy blankets as the candle fades. Now imagine you're not alone. In a medieval home, most nights meant sharing a bed. Families slept close for warmth and safety. Parents, children, and sometimes guests crowded together on wide straw mattresses or simple wooden frames. Privacy was rare, but the comfort of nearby breathing mattered more than personal space. Body heat acted like a living hearth. Without central heating, nights could drop to bitter cold. Sleeping side by side turned a group of people into a single, slow-burning furnace. Picture a cluster of coals glowing together. One coal cools fast. Many stay warm. This closeness offered more than heat. The steady rhythm of another person's breath calmed the nervous system. Your heartbeat matched the quiet rise and fall around you, like waves sensing to a moonlit tide. Conversations often filled the first moments of rest. Whispered prayers, shared stories, or gentle laughter eased the mind. People unburdened worries before sleep, a natural form of evening therapy. You might wonder if strangers ever shared beds. Yes, travelers at inns often slept beside people they'd met only hours earlier. Far from awkward, it was expected and practical. The shared warmth outweighed any hesitation. You breathe in the cool air of a medieval bedroom. The faint scent of dried flowers drifts around you. Herbs were more than decoration. They were nightly companions that shaped the atmosphere of sleep. Lavender was the quiet star. Bundles hung from rafters or rested under pillows, releasing a gentle fragrance as calming as a soft lullaby. Modern science now shows lavender can slow brain waves, easing the mind toward rest. Your ancestors knew the effect without charts or labs. Chamomile worked alongside it. Families brewed small pots of warm chamomile tea, its apple-like aroma filling the room. Even those who didn't drink it stuffed sachets of dried flowers into bedding. The plant's natural compounds acted like a whisper to the nervous system, telling muscles to relax. Valerian root carried more strength. It smelled earthy, almost sharp, but healers prized it for its powerful calming qualities. A pinch in a bedtime infusion helped restless sleepers drift off. Think of it as the heavy velvet curtain to lavender's soft shawl. Why did people trust these plants? Centuries of observation taught them which herbs soothed and which stimulated. Mothers passed recipes to daughters. Monks recorded mixtures in careful script. Healing gardens grew close to cottages, so the night breeze carried hints of these scents indoors. You wake in the dark and feel calm. That simple reaction set medieval sleepers apart from most people today. They didn't fear the clock or count the hours left until dawn. They accepted the night as it came. Modern life trains you to measure sleep like a scoreboard. Fitness watches buzz with numbers. Articles warn about perfect earn cycles. That pressure builds a knot of worry before you even close your eyes. Your ancestors faced harsher dangers, plague, famine, bitter winters, yet they didn't panic over a restless night. Why? Their culture framed sleep as a natural rhythm, not a performance. If storms kept them awake, they shrugged and trusted the next night to balance things out. No one thought a single bad evening would ruin health or productivity. Imagine a river allowed to flow freely instead of being trapped behind a dam of expectations. The segmented pattern helped too. Waking in the middle of the night wasn't a failure. It was part of the plan. People used that quiet hour for prayer, soft conversation, or gentle chores. They never labeled it insomnia. This mindset created a powerful feedback loop. Less worry meant lower stress hormones, which made it easier to fall asleep again. Calm fed calm, the way a smooth wheel keeps spinning without force. Picture a cottage as a patient friend. It doesn't scold if you stir at midnight. The dark walls simply wait while you stretch or whisper a thought. There's no glowing screen to remind you of the time or tempt you to measure what can't be measured. You might wonder if anyone ever complained. Of course, some nights were restless. A sick child, a loud storm, a troubled mind, all could interrupt rest. But the response was acceptance, not alarm. People trusted that tomorrow's work would still get done. Modern science echoes this wisdom. Studies show that anxiety about sleep itself can create chronic insomnia. The harder you try to force rest, the more alert your brain becomes. Medieval people unknowingly avoided that trap. Their example offers a quiet lesson. Sleep is a natural process, not a test to pass. The body knows how to restore itself when given time and darkness. You don't need to chase it. Think of their attitude as a lantern with soft light. It guided them through occasional wakefulness without burning the night with fear. That emotional safety may have been their greatest sleep aid. This calm acceptance rounded out the entire system you've explored. Darkness, silence, routine, herbs, and shared warmth. All of it worked because no one fought the night. As dawn approaches in our story, you'll see how these lessons, environmental and emotional, form a complete picture of restful living. The final chapter will gather every insight into a single set of takeaways you can reflect on today. Night, darkness, silence, shared warmth, gentle rituals, and calm acceptance. Now gather the lessons hidden in that long journey and see what they reveal about your own evenings. First, darkness matters more than gadgets. Your ancestors lived in blackness so complete it felt like velvet over the eyes. That steady dark signaled every cell to rest. Think of it as night's original blanket, wrapping the brain in quiet instructions. Second, rhythm rules the body. Regular routines, banking the fire, sharing stories, settling early, trained their minds to drift naturally into first sleep, wake briefly, and return. To second sleep without effort. Your inner clock still remembers that beat. Third, community calms the heart. Whether through shared beds, whispered prayers, or evening conversation, medieval families ended the day together. Connection eased fears and lowered stress long before science named cortisol. Fourth, nature offered gentle allies. Herbs like lavender and chamomile filled the air with scents that soothed without side effects. They turned simple rooms into fragrant nests of rest. Fifth, attitude shaped the outcome. They didn't fear a wakeful hour or judge their dreams. They trusted night to do its work. That acceptance became the strongest medicine of all. You might wonder, can these ideas fit modern life? Not as exact instructions, but as guidance. Recognize how powerful darkness, routine, companionship, and a relaxed mindset remain for healthy rest. These aren't relics, they're reminders of what the human body still expects. Picture tonight as a bridge between centuries. When you dim lights or share quiet conversation, you echo habits that carry generations through cold winters and long harvest days. The science of sleep now supports what those families discovered through daily living. The bigger lesson is respect. For night, for rhythm, for the slow processes inside you. Instead of chasing perfect numbers on a screen, you can honor the same natural signals that guided people hundreds of years ago. Their world shows that true rest isn't about luxury mattresses or glowing data charts. It's about letting the environment and mind align with the turning earth. That truth remains as solid as stone walls and as soft as a candle's final flicker. So when you next feel the tug of exhaustion, remember the medieval night. It whispers that sleep is not a battle to win, but a rhythm to join. This closes our journey through the quiet wisdom of the past. If you enjoyed exploring these hidden practices, subscribe for more stories of how history still shapes daily life. Next time, we'll uncover how ancient builders kept entire castles warm through brutal winters, a tale of engineering as clever as it is unexpected. Fifth, attitude shaped the outcome. They didn't fear a wakeful hour or judge their dreams. They trusted night to do its work. That acceptance became the strongest medicine of all. You might wonder, can these ideas fit modern life? Not as exact instructions, but as guidance. Recognize how powerful darkness, routine, companionship, and a relaxed mindset remain for healthy rest. These aren't relics. They're reminders of what the human body still expects. Picture tonight as a bridge between centuries. When you dim lights or share quiet conversation, you echo habits that carry generations through cold winters and long harvest days. The science of sleep now supports what those families discovered through daily living. The bigger lesson is respect. For night, for rhythm, for the slow processes inside you. Instead of chasing perfect numbers on a screen, you can honor the same natural signals that guided people hundreds of years ago. Their world shows that true rest isn't about luxury mattresses or glowing data charts. It's about letting the environment and mind align with the turning earth. That truth remains as solid as stone walls and as soft as a candle's final flicker. So when you next feel the tug of exhaustion, remember the medieval night. It whispers that sleep is not a battle to win, but a rhythm to join. This closes our journey through the quiet wisdom of the past. If you enjoyed exploring these hidden practices, Subscribe for more stories of how history still shapes daily life. Next time, we'll uncover how ancient builders kept entire castles warm through brutal winters, a tale of engineering as clever as it is unexpected. Fifth, attitude shaped the outcome. They didn't fear a wakeful hour or judge their dreams. They trusted night to do its work. That acceptance became the strongest medicine of all. You might wonder, can these ideas fit modern life? Not as exact instructions, but as guidance. Recognize how powerful darkness, routine, companionship, and a relaxed mindset remain for healthy rest. These aren't relics, they're reminders of what the human body still expects. Picture tonight as a bridge between centuries. When you dim lights or share quiet conversation, you echo habits that carry generations through cold winters and long harvest days. The science of sleep now supports what those families discovered through daily living. The bigger lesson is respect for night, for rhythm, for the slow processes inside you. Instead of chasing perfect numbers on a screen, you can honor the same natural signals that guided people hundreds of years ago. Their world shows that true rest isn't about luxury mattresses or glowing data charts. It's about letting the environment and mind align with the turning earth. That truth remains as solid as stone walls and as soft as a candle's final flicker. So when you next feel the tug of exhaustion, remember the medieval night. It whispers that sleep is not a battle to win, but a rhythm to join. This closes our journey through the quiet wisdom of the past. If you enjoyed exploring these hidden practices, subscribe for more stories of how history still shapes daily life. Next time, we'll uncover how ancient builders kept entire castles warm through brutal winters. A tale of engineering as clever as it is unexpected.